welcome back to my channel. Remember, if you like my content, subscribe and hit the like button. Been a week since I've done my last video. Been over a week. I've been in Indiana, and while I was in Indiana, I picked up a new pellet rifle, and this is what this video is about. It's a rifle I didn't think I was ever going to pick up. For one thing, it's in .177, which I didn't think I was ever going to own one. I didn't see a need to own one. I know there's a lot of people out there that love that caliber, and it's supposedly the best-selling caliber out there. I can believe that. There's a ton of them. I just never thought I was going to have a reason to own one, and when I picked it up, I did not think I would ever own. This is a Legacy 1000, and it's a pump. I picked this up for around $50, and the reason I picked it up is for rats. This will work wonderful for rats, even squirrel. Short range for rabbit, although I would go back up to my 22 or 30 caliber for that. Now, this rifle came with a scope. A lot of people, there's Play-Doh all over it. I've been doing some tests. A lot of people don't like this. You know, they say it is what it is, and I understand that. I had a similar scope on my 22 rifle when I was a teenager growing up, and that one worked just fine. The only concern I would have, and this is with any scope, if you're using it on a rifle and you get it zeroed out, do you have to keep redoing that? Is it holding up to the stresses of being pumped or using that rifle? If it doesn't, I don't care how much it costs, it's a piece of crap. If it does, there's nothing wrong with these scopes. I've actually used one of these. I'm going to eventually try using this one to see if it will hold up to being on a pellet rifle. But it comes with it. Now, about this rifle. It's plastic. It's only $50. So far it seems to be pretty accurate. Kind of surprised me. Fiber optic. They call these, I think, bucktail iron sights. It's what I grew up on with my 22. Has them. Does have a rail for the scope and other optics. This right here is how you load it. That's pretty tough. It's loosening up. That's a small hole. Now I only shoot pellets because I don't want BBs. They tell me if you shoot BBs out of this, you'll ruin the threads. So I'm only going to shoot pellets. And getting them in there and not flipping them over is hard until I figured out. Do them upside down. Do it upside down. Put the pellet right there. Just click it in there. Turn it. Let it fall into the slot, and then I just shake it. It drops right into the barrel, and you don't clip your skirt and deform your skirt. Now, I was pretty impressed with this rifle. A lot impressed with this rifle. These rear sights I like because not only are they elevation, but they have left to right. There's 2 screws. I had to make a adjustment. Side adjustment for this works great. Yes, it's plastic, and they make an upgraded version of this, from what I understand, the 2100. But the velocities are about the same, so I didn't want to pay the extra money. Now, I've been shooting Gamo's red fire at 7.8 grains, and the Premier Crosman at 10.5. Ran them through the Crony, and I used 4 pumps, 8 pumps, and 12 pumps. In all of those situations, the heavier pellet did more foot-pounds. 4 pumps, I got 5.62 out of the Gamos, 5.8 out of the Crosman, the heavier pellet. At 8 pumps, it was 470 feet for the Gamos and $4.99 for the Crosman. 8 pumps, 710 feet per second, 8.72 foot-pounds. The Crosman, 644 feet per second, 9.66 foot-pounds of energy. At 12 pumps, the Gamels were 773 on the speed and 10.34 on the energy. 700 feet per second for the Crosman, 11.42. That's pretty good for the Premier Crosman. Now, like I said, I didn't think I would ever own a .177, let alone a pump. But I was up there, I seen the price, and I got thinking, if you're indoors, if you're in a shop, you're in a garage, you're in a barn, the 22 I got, it's going to pass right through a rat, it's going to pass right through a pigeon and do damage to whatever behind it. This, you can adjust the pumps to suit what you need. Even at 4 pumps, this will kill a rat and squirrel, pigeon. At 8 and 12, rabbit. I would go back to the 22 on rabbit or anything bigger than that. But for rats, pigeons, and even squirrels at short range, this will work just fine. Now I did some testing. I'll show you some of the testing I did. And after that, come back and I'll wrap this up. All right, in this test, I'm using Play-Doh as my happy rat analog. And I've got some large popsicle sticks or stir sticks. And that represents the skull or the bones of a rat, because I want to see how many pumps it takes to get through them. And I'm going to be using the 2 different pellets that I mentioned. And this, yes, this is going to be at close range, but I want to make sure I hit it. So, let's get this started and see what happens. 4 pumps. With the lightest of the pellets. Now 4 pumps with the heavier pellet. Now, that made a bigger hole going in than that. They both went through, and they both busted the wood. So that will definitely kill a rat. There's no sense in going up in the 8 and 12 pumps, because at close range, 4 would do it. And that's what I bought the gun for, is close range. That's why it's only using iron sights. But let's go back to my can. I'm going to start with the heavy bullet at 12 pumps. I should say pellet, not bullet. That's 12. All right. Well, there's where it went in, and there's where it came out. That's pretty damn impressive. Okay, I'm going to do 12 with the lighter pellet. That's surprising me. I was kind of thinking it wouldn't go through. But that heavier pellet has more foot-pounds of energy. At 12 pumps, it has 11.42 foot-pounds. The lighter one has 10.34. So we'll see what this one does. 12 pumps. Entry hole. Ouch. No exit hole, just a bulge. That's interesting. That bullet probably mushroomed out. I'm going to do one other thing. I'm just curious at this point. This is the heavier bullet pellet. Four pumps. Went in, and it bulged the back. Went in the front at 4 pumps. Yeah, that'll kill a rat, kill a squirrel. With 12 pumps, very close range, a rabbit, but I would go back to the 22 caliber or the 30 for rabbit. But at short range, squirrel, pigeon, rats, I don't think it'd be a problem. That was a pretty interesting test. Okay, as you can see, with the Play-Doh test and the spam test, this is powerful enough to get the job done on small game, excuse me. Rats, pigeons, squirrels, and with 12 pumps blowing right through this, that surprised me. That makes this worth having. As long as you understand what it is and what it's good for. I'm glad I picked it up. The ammo's cheap. I can sit here and plink with this all day long and not go through a can. And for target shooting, for plinking, shooting cans and stuff, I would recommend the .177 just because the ammo's cheap. It's the same as shooting the higher calibers. You get the practice, you get to get the muscle memory and everything else you need to be a good shooter, spending a lot less money. So yeah, I kind of changed my mind on these. I'm glad I picked this up. They make, and I can't remember who makes it, but there's a 22 version of the pump. And I may look into it. I may not need it. It may be more powerful than what I want. But this so far has been a sweet little rifle. I use iron sights because it's going to be close in work. And the scope is not good if you're going to be shooting, you know, under 10 yards. And this is set up for point blank, probably out to about 10 or 15 yards. It'll be dead on. And that's what I'm going to use it for. But anyway, like I said, changed my mind on these. You can shoot BBs. It has a little unique. Put the BBs in there. I think I hit it at 50. Pull this back, turn it upside down and shake it. And then there'll be BBs in here. And you just pump, rack it, shoot. You don't have to keep putting individual BBs in. They load themselves. It's worth the money. Surprised me on how much power it actually puts out at the lower pumps. At almost 6 foot-pounds for a rat, 4 pumps would do it. If you don't want the penetration and you want to control where the pellet goes. But for the money, this is a great little rifle, and that really surprised me. I've seen some other videos on them, and people talk about, well, they're plastic. Well, they're $50. If this thing breaks, you don't need to repair it. You just go get another one. And so far, it's been accurate. It's been reliable. The speeds are pretty consistent with the pumps. You got more pellet variation than you do anything with this. But anyway, for 50 bucks, I recommend this if you want just a little plinker or you're dealing with vermin on the small side. Like I said, rats, squirrel, pigeons. This is a nice little rifle, especially if you're going to use iron sights. But anyway, Picked that up in Indiana. I was up there visiting some relatives. That's why I didn't do a video last week. I'm going to get back on schedule. And thank you for watching.